Hi friends, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra here again today with Tim Forshee from Forshee Law on John's Briefs. We recently had a badge cam on the main channel of a guy who was clearly in significant mental instability throwing rocks at cop cars, big rocks. Yeah. And you know, Mike and I on the channel talked about that we felt like this one had preclusion problems. And so I want to talk to the attorney about it.
To win the fight after the fight, you need help. After a use of force, I trust Firearms Legal Protection to help me win the fight for the rest of my life. From their 24/7 attorney-answered hotline to coverage for the use of all legal tools, Firearms Legal Protection has you covered. Get a discount by signing up at the link below.
Now, okay, bona fides here, right? So you have been a posse member.
I have, yeah, for
You're
many years.
Firearms instructor.
I am.
Have been a prosecuting attorney.
I am.
Now a criminal defense and family law attorney, and a judge pro tem.
Correct.
So you've been on all sides of this noise.
Okay, yeah, I guess you could say that, yeah.
Been all around it. That's cool. And you guys know me. So, man, we had this incident, and I said, look, I think when an officer jumps out of this cruiser and the guy winds up and hits him with the first rock, then winds up with a second rock. If I put a private citizen in that spot and that private citizen shoots that guy dead, he's justified in what he did. Because, okay, you know, if he's walking his dog by and the guy's throwing big old, you know, apple-sized rocks at your head, okay, fine. And so a police officer has a right to defend their own life too. But I did say, I don't think it had to go that way.
I wholeheartedly agree. It didn't need to go that way, yeah.
So do you think that causes problems in the legal defense?
Criminally or civilly?
Yes.
Both. I'm not so sure that wasn't excessive use of force, even on a criminal basis. So now, as you know, there's 11th Amendment immunity issues here with regard to a state employee, et cetera. But there was just so many other options, and we expect our law enforcement officers to have access to all those other options, right? So
we do hold them to a higher standard.
We do, as we should. Now, that doesn't mean they're not human. It doesn't mean that they can never make a mistake without paying the cost. I mean, that's not fair either. That's Monday morning quarterbacking drives me crazy on these things.
Sure.
But that said, as you said, I didn't see any other civilians in the immediate area. I didn't see anybody really at risk. And you know, I used to play baseball. I know what damage a rock can do. We've all thrown rocks when we were kids, right? Sure. I mean, but if I back off 20, 30 yards away from that guy, I'm gonna have plenty of time to dodge any rock he throws. And it's just, I don't know that it's a situation that called for only the hammer when I only saw the nail. I mean, Mike mentioned, do they have a riot helmet in the trunk? Do they have a riot shield? Can they just call in for backup and get 15 units to square off the area and then move in on them with a SWAT team? I mean, there was so many other options to just draw and shooting the guy. I mean, if he'd stayed in your car, I mean, your windshield is going to take several hits before a rock's going to come through your windshield, you know?
I do think, though, that we train our law enforcement officers to close with.
Correct. And
we train them, no, you need to get out and put hands on people right now. And I think we don't train a lot of slow your roll.
Yeah.
Slow your roll. Make a good decision here. Block the traffic off so he's not able to throw rocks at people. You know, wait till the guys with the 40 mic show up. Wait till, you know, let's talk to him through the PA. Hey man, put the rocks down. Let's talk. What's going on? You know.
Can you get close enough to him with a shield to tase him? I mean, there's just so many other options here before you use lethal force.
Get out of 20 yards and get the shield out. And okay, hey man, I just want to talk. Like, don't throw rocks at me, please.
Right.
Okay. Now again, I think to me, criminally, it felt like, all right, given he made some mistakes that he closed too fast. In that moment of action, is he justified criminally?
Are we going to give him the benefit of the doubt? And I guess what I'm wondering is that, and I'm not sure if we're in agreement or not on this, but I think that if that had been a private citizen, they would be prosecuted.
You think so? Because I'm thinking like, okay, so let's just say that I was a private citizen and he threw a rock and hit my car. And I circle back around to jump out to go, hey dude, you just threw a rock at my car. You owe me some money. Okay, unwise, but not unreasonable.
Not illegal.
Right, not illegal and not unreasonable. And then that dude picks up a rock and throws it at me. I think I can make a pretty strong case there for defensive use of force and justified
Now, has this
conduct.
guy already hit 3 other cars and torn big gashes in the sheet metal?
Right, well,
or have you only seen him throw 2 rocks?
So
I mean,
again,
it's going to be very fact intensive, and
always fact
again, what's your best option? Again, whether it is legal or not legal,
right.
We're looking at it with the gift of hindsight, and we're trying to decide whether it was legal or not. it's so much better just to not have this discussion.
Well, and again, if some dude throws a rock and hits my car and puts a big dent and tears my car up, I'm calling 911 and outsourcing my violence.
And my next call is to State Farm.
Yeah, and my next call is to the insurance company. So make sure that you do the prudent thing. But
Right.
now, from a civil court perspective, in civil court, those lapses of best judgment, because the civil jury weighs fault.
Well, and again, they only have to find by a preponderance of the evidence.
Right.
Which is so, I mean, that's why O.J. Simpson was not convicted of a crime, but was found liable of a tort, was that the standard of proof is so much less.
So much less.
So it's much, much easier there's lots more to fear for an unfavorable verdict in a civil case than there is in a criminal case. So,
well, and they might say, well, we find you, 60% at fault here.
Correct.
And so they asked for $80 million. I think they filed the suit for $85 million. Well, we're going to give you $40 million.
Right.
Or something, which means probably that the city of Phoenix will settle for.
I'll bet it'll be a lot less than that.
Yeah, a lot less.
We do have comparative fault. It's pure comparative
Sure.
fault in Arizona, and so it's reduced by the exact percentage that you find that he's at fault.
Right.
But 85 million, I'm not sure who the plaintiff's attorney
No,
is.
no.
I would love to be the plaintiff's attorney in this case because it could be a retirement case, but it's not going to be.
It's not going to be $85 million.
No, it's not going to be anywhere near that, but it's going to be. It'll be seven figures for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say it'll be somewhere north of maybe $3, $4, $5 million.
I would agree with that. Yes.
And so guess who gets to pay that? Well, we do, because we live in the city of Phoenix.
Yeah.
And since I do, again, I'll just take that money out of my pocket
Sure.
and hand it over. And it's not wrong, in my opinion, to say to my hometown team, who I have several friends who are Phoenix cops, like good friends I have lunch with, good people, okay? And I say to my friends in the Phoenix PD, hey, do better. That's $8 million that the city of Phoenix is going to take out of your budget.
That's right.
That money's got to come from
That
somewhere.
sure would have been good to put that into our training budget.
Sure would have been great to put that into new equipment, hiring new officers to cover shifts and doing those things, and instead of paying it out in a wrongful death claim. So for all of us, right? Preclusion's a thing.
That's right.
And you got to think, wait a minute, do I have to rush in here to a
Right.
problem? Is a rock, somebody throwing a big rock at your head, objective, reasonable, deadly threat? Depends on how far he is.
And I guess I grew up in the middle of a farm in downstate Illinois, and after every single Cub Scout meeting, we had a giant dirt clod fight.
Sure.
And it wasn't over until somebody had
a welt on their
bloody
head.
snot tears all over their face and a big welt on their head. I'm not
different
saying
time.
I'm not saying a different time. Oh, the good old 70s. I'm not saying a rock in the head is a pleasant experience, but I am saying that again, if you're farther away than 10, 20 yards, it's pretty damn easy to dodge that. And those cops have got, I hope, good training and great equipment, and just stay behind that laminated windshield and wait for the cavalry to arrive.
And I will say, I talked to, my 5 favorite cop friends, and I've got a bunch of them, right?
Sure.
Sent them the video and said, hey man, I'm looking at this stuff, and all 5 of them, to a man, said, oh, I'd have just tackled that guy. I'd have just,
How quick can he reload, right?
Right.
I mean, he can only hold 2 or 3 rocks.
Right.
Charge him.
His chances to hit me in the head are pretty slim.
Exactly.
I'm going to tackle that guy. And since he hit me with a rock, he might catch a little bit of extra hands on the way. But, I'm not shooting him. So,
Exactly.
so I think the vast majority of officers kind of see that in that way. So the unfortunate part is this kind of stuff is not like this easy cut and dry.
No.
It's those, like you said earlier, right? You got these ones over here that are clearly justified. These ones over here, clearly not.
Right.
Vast majority of cases, and then every once in a while we get these ones in the middle.
Right.
So
And this one's probably one of those in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was suicide by cop, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and it's a horrible, horrible, unfortunate thing that happens every single day in this country, and we can always look back on it and try to figure out how we can do better next time. And that's what we should be doing.
we should, and we use these as training opportunities
That's right.
to get better, and that's one of the reasons I took and it got certified as a realistic de-escalation strategies instructor to help people to go, when do I have to force the issue, but when can I use my discretionary time for everyone's safety? So let's do better on this one. Tim, appreciate you.
Always. Thanks.